Hey dudes, I'm Channel Master Jake, and welcome back to another episode from Spookyween. I'm not gonna do the laugh this time. Maybe next time though. Maybe next time. So, as you can no doubt read from the title, I went on last Friday, and I went and saw the movie It with my brother and his girlfriend. And I just wanted to let you all know I don't like clowns at all. The clowns give me the heebie-jeebies. All right, and I think it was just a year, maybe 2 years ago, there was like a whole clown epidemic going on, where people would dress as clowns and go freaking people out. That was freaking me out. I was worried that was going to happen here in my hometown, but thankfully it didn't happen. I didn't see anything. But needless to say, I don't get along well with clowns at all. Not in the least bit. So I was not looking forward to watching this movie. I've always had a phobia ever since the first one that I saw kind of advertised and stuff when I was a little kid. Like really little kid, you know. I was like maybe 4 at the time or something. I'd have to check to be sure, but it's always kind of rattled around in my head as something I've always been terrified of. I eventually saw the Nostalgia Critics review of the 1990s It, and that really kind of helped me get over it. And then they came out with a new one full of new spooks and scares, and I was not looking forward to seeing it. But I found my big boy pants. I found them. They're over there now. I put them on, and I went and saw the movie. And here's what I thought about it. So let me start off with the things I actually liked about the movie. So for starters, even though I'm scared to death of clowns, the guy who did Pennywise, he did a good job. I mean, he was scary and intimidating, like kind of silly in a couple instances, but they did a good job of making him like a viable presence, a viable threat. And I mean, what good is a threat if you don't have anything to stack it up against? And our main cast is like 7 kids that we follow throughout the town of Derry, Maine. And the kids, I don't know what it is, man, but the kids lately have been knocking that out of the park. I mean, what with Stranger Things that came out like just last year, and now this coming out this year. I mean, child actors are like really stepping up their game, man. Matter of fact, the kid who played Mike in Stranger Things came back and was playing a character named Richie in this one. 2 completely different characters, but each one completely likable. I mean, the character he played in It was just like a smart mouth, just constantly telling jokes and trying to get in, kind of get everyone's guff just because he enjoys it. But he did such a good job, and so did the rest of the kids. There's only like maybe one that was just kind of like, he's more kind of just a whiny. It was the Jewish kid. Oh, what was his name? Stanley. It was Jewish kid Stanley. He is the one I liked least out of all of them. Matter of fact, now that I look at it, almost all the kids have a name ending in like a Y or something. There's Billy, Richie, Stanley, Eddie. There's Michael, but you can call him Mikey. Then there's Bev, but her name's Beverly. Sheesh. I think just about everyone's name there ends with like a Y. It's a little weird. Oh, but I'm getting besides the point. Another thing that I liked about the movie, besides the kids, who did a great job of, carrying everything forward, was the visuals. And with modern CG, you can get away with a lot of stuff, and they were very much pushing to see how much creepy stuff they can get away with. I'd be sitting there, and there'd just be like something kind of creepy, and I'd just be like, "Whoa, that's disturbing." But it's still kind of cool to see them make something like that. Kind of cool to see them put it together. I think it's pretty cool anyway. And well, another thing I liked was the ending of it. Um, I'm going to put a spoiler warning right here, just because I'm going to give away a little bit of the ending. Not too much, but a little bit of it, so you have been warned. But the ending was kind of cathartic, because, I mean, if you've seen the movie, you'll know why, but after all that build up and all that suspense and terror, it was really good to have some sort of release, and you're just like, oh, thank goodness, something happened, where the audience can just kind of go, there we go. Now we can just kind of take a breather. It's good. It's a good thing they did. The last thing that I enjoyed about it, it might sound a little weird to say, but there were a few silly moments in it that were making me giggle. And I don't mean, I'm pretty sure a couple were meant to be, but some weren't even. Like, The movie opens with Billy and his little brother Georgie, and Georgie is going downstairs into their cellar. I'm pretty sure it's a basement, but they call it a cellar, to get wax. And he like, there's like no lights on in the house. It's dark and rainy. He walks down the stairs, and then you just see his mom in the back on a piano playing the most dreary, depressing song you could think of. And I'm just like, I laughed to myself, and I'm like, what the heck? What normal person would do that? Ah, gee, it looks like rain today. You know what? Time I dusted off my big old book of depressing tunes. The kids are gonna love this. Boom, 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 boom. It made me laugh. It made me laugh. And there are a couple other parts too where I think you could see it in the trailer when Georgie's like, "We all float, we all float," and then Pennywise pops out of the water and goes chasing after Billy. They make him do this weird shimmying from side to side like he's going, "Ah!" But it wasn't scary to me because throughout the entire time, I just kept imagining this noise over it. It's just way sillier than it needs to be, and when my mind just connected that sound to it, he does it like twice. And each time, I was giggling to myself when I shouldn't have been. Because everyone else, I heard some people going, and I'm just like, because it's just super silly. And I don't know, I kind of enjoyed that. There was a couple parts that were meant to be silly, like, there's a part where he's eating a kid, and he's watching other kids getting beaten up. He's watching Mike getting beaten up by the most douchebag bullies around. Then he holds up, like, the guy's hand and goes, ah, like, waves it at him. It's silly. That one was meant to be really silly. But it made me laugh, which is something you don't really get too often in a horror movie. Now, despite the more fun times I did have with it, there were a few things that kind of left me going, I don't really like this as much. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the horror genre in general, but I can stomach it if I really need to, and I can just kind of be like, okay, these are certain things that come with it. Let's look at the movie kind of as a cohesive whole. And there were some things that I just didn't like about it. Like, for starters, the music. The music wasn't really that interesting to me, or entertaining. There were a few parts where the music was, kind of sweet and kind of mellow, but there's nothing really too memorable, and that seems to be a trend a lot of movies nowadays are taking. Instead of having, like, each movie has to have its own theme. You hear the music, you instantly know where it's from. Movies are just kind of getting rid of that altogether, and I don't like that. Very rarely do you get a movie nowadays that has its own representative theme. Like, one off the top of my head is Guardians of the Galaxy. They've got their own theme. I was gonna hum it, but I'm tone deaf. But you hear that, you think, oh, that's Guardians of the Galaxy. This movie, you could hear music from, you'd be like, I don't know what that's from. I don't know. Another thing I didn't like is, there were a couple plot threads in there that were just kind of left dingle-dangling. And I understand why. There's going to be 2 more movies. They're making an It trilogy. In a trilogy. Boy, is that a weird sounding word. But they're making 2 more movies, so they're going to pick stuff up and let things go, Like, what happened to Pennywise? Again, I give a spoiler warning, so you should already be expecting things. Put it up here one more time. What about Pennywise? What about the bully who fell down deep in the well? I'm pretty sure he's still alive. What happened to the kids and everything? They're just stuff that should, I'd like to see explored, but we're probably not going to see explored. Ugh. Man, I'm using my little cheat sheet here because I have stuff written down so I don't forget it. Oh, okay. Those are the other 2 points I wanted to bring up. One was the story was pretty common, pretty cut and paste. And if you know anything about it, you can kind of see where it's going. It doesn't throw any real twists and turns in there. It's not like they're going this way and then suddenly you go, whoa, we're actually going to go this way. And you're like, whoa, I wonder where the movie's going to go. It goes exactly where you think it's going to go. I mean, it's tit for tat. It follows it. Exactly how I figured it would go, it follows it. Now that the execution isn't 100% bad, but I would have liked to see them shake it up a little bit. And last, but certainly not least, the jump scares. Oh lordy, the jump scares. For me, jump scares are like the lowest form of horror. Just like fart jokes are the lowest form of comedy. I mean, you might get a giggle, just like a jump scare might make you jump, but they're not supremely intelligent, and it's not a lot of work or effort going into them. I Most of the times I was scared in the movie was genuinely just because something went boo and got me. It wasn't because I'm like, oh, the tension in the atmosphere just it's just cutting through me like a knife. No, it was, oh, I know something around here is gonna jump and scare me. Where is it? Where? There it is. And that's mostly what I was watching out for in the movie. Nothing else really. There were a few moments that I'm like, oh, this is genuinely disturbing. Like, oh yeah, like that thing with Beverly and her father. That was disturbing. I don't know if that really needed to be in the movie because this didn't really add much. But hey, at least in the end, she was able to kind of overcome that. But too many jump scares, man. Too many jump scares. Try working on like really building the atmosphere. Sorry, I got something in my throat. Build that atmosphere instead of doing just boo. Alright, so I've never actually reviewed or rated a movie at all. So, shucks, I don't know how to rate it. But I guess if I'm going to take a stab at it, I would give it 3 out of 5 jack-o'-lanterns. I don't know. It's more festive than Stars. But, I mean, the movie, it's got great dialogue, it's got some creative visuals, it's got some gory details, and even though it relies way too much on jump scaring you, I still think it's a pretty good time for Halloween. Just don't take kids to this. Do not take kids to this. You will never have them going to McDonald's or the circuses again because their fear of clowns will be very, very real. Just don't bother. But if you're a grown adult and you want a scary time for Halloween, this is probably going to be right up your alley. So yeah, go have fun. Be terrified of clowns. I will be. Gonna be hiding in my bed. Alright, well, looks like it's time for me to get going. I really would want to see more stuff at the theaters, but I don't have one in the town where I live in, so it's a little bit harder to get out there to watch them. So I do want to do more reviewing stuff that's currently coming out. I'm just going to have to be picky and choose about which ones that I do see. So in the meantime, this is Channel Master Jake. I'm going to be going for now. I'll see you guys later, and make sure to hug someone you love today. Bye. What's that? What's that?